All right, let me see what it is that could be causing your noise. vMix call. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, I can hear that now.
No, that was my phone. I forgot to turn it down.
Okay. Where is the call? Inky's call. Open call manager. Okay. We are good. Hi everyone, by the way, who's in chat. Yep, we're doing the stream now. This is the pre-show, and the actual real show will start in about 12 minutes. But just stick around. This is kind of us testing our audio and everything and saying hi. So anyway, I can hear myself. Right. Someone's audio is coming back through. Let me just mute yours. I think it's Darren's. Yep. Okay, Inky, you can still hear me twice?
Yep.
What about now?
Nope. And I can't hear myself. Oh, I can.
Okay, so what you were hearing,
like an echo.
You can't hear the echo anymore? Is it gone?
Let me speak. No, I can still hear it slightly.
Okay. One sec. I think. Is that better?
Speak again.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's fine for you. But I can still hear myself. But I can deal with that.
But you're supposed to get... are you supposed to get audio from bus A as well as master? That's what I want to know. Don't think you are. So I don't know why that was enabled. You're supposed to just get audio from master. Okay, Darren, let's hear you.
Right, well, I'm just having all sorts of problems.
Yeah. Can you try your audio? I can hear myself, it's really annoying. Can you try your audio interface to the other connection that you were talking about before, the aggregate? See if that works.
I can do this. The problem is, I've got a transgate coming back on the audio, and I can't cope with that. I'm gonna have to take my phones off. It's just like you're stuck in the transgate every time you talk.
Yeah, I can't even understand you now. It's that choppy. So,
If we go back this way, I can hear you, but obviously you can't hear me with the feedback or whatever.
I can hear the feedback, yeah. And we can't have that because the stream will hear it. So the guys in the chat, you can confirm what I'm hearing, right? You're hearing Darren all choppy, and you're also hearing me double. If I turn him off, now you won't hear him me double because I've turned him off. So I turn his audio back on. Now you can hear me double. All right. Inky, just let me check your levels. Just do a 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2.
1, 2, 3.
Yep. So you're all good. Okay. Now let me check these levels. They are coming through okay? Inky?
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Okay, good. And you're not getting double anymore? On me?
Nope.
Good. Okay, so I did upgrade. Darren, you'll know it's got nothing to do with the upgrade because your problem is the same from last week it is from this week. But I did do an upgrade from the firmware software during the week, and I think it's enabled the two buses, which I don't know why. It just probably did that on an upgrade, so that's annoyed. But if I put that on, Inky, you should hear yourself twice now, and me twice. Is that right? I can't even hear you now.
Oh, because I've muted myself.
All right. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at our chatties and say hi to everyone. All right, so I'm going to do the official hi in the main show, but hi Finn, hi 888 Berg, hi Keon from the UK, and we've got Hanway Wiesner. How you going again? I haven't seen you for a while. Mac Mister, how you going? Michael B, how's it going? And I think that is it so far. So yeah, good. Hi, how are you? How's your week been? Now, this week we should have a guest coming in at about the hour. So this is so you guys know what the video is about. So I've got a Patreon who's joined my tier where he can ask questions, and then we do the answer on the live stream, which I think is a pretty cool thing. So anyone can do that, but basically you get kind of like a personalized segment in the Q&A part of the live stream. And this guy's asked a stack of questions about the MX-1 setup, so it'll be pretty cool because Mr. Mac, okay, no worries, we'll try and remember that. It would be pretty cool for this guy because Darren is also an MX-1 owner, so we can bounce ideas off Darren. And there's also a couple of MX-1 users in the chatties as well that I know of. And you guys might want to sing out when he pops in. His name's Lee, and I don't know if he's in yet. But if you're in, Lee, don't forget to jump in the chat room and sing out and say hi. And I'll add you as a moderator straight away so that you'll get sort of like what Inky looks like, a different color. Yes, that's right. Okay, what do we do? 5 minutes before the hour, so we are going to hit the button in a sec. Okay, Darren, let me see what we can sort out now. I need to somehow disable that feedback echo from your side. I don't know what's causing it. Yeah, it is almost unusable. Probably unusable. Nothing against you personally, of course. It might be what I suggest you do is just give that aggregate device a try and see what happens.
Yeah, I've switched. If I come out of that, I'm getting. I don't know why because I've not changed anything.
Do you want to come in via Skype? Let me just set it up first before I turn it on. I always have this problem when I do it for Dazza. I haven't got it set up. All right, I've got the virtual device running. Yep, there we go. Disconnect from the vMix call and then give us a call on Skype and see if that helps. Do you remember my Skype details? Yeah, he's disconnected. Good. All right. We haven't got him recalling yet. Waiting. Hello, Michael Elliott. Nice of you to join us. Thank you very much for joining us. We are about to go into the main show in a sec. We're just setting up Darren. He's got a few audio problems. If you've, yeah, he's disconnected. That's what happens. You get the last frame, Michael, when he disconnects. I can turn him off though.
Yeah, you got to try and look good on the last frame, haven't you? Otherwise, people have got a 5-minute picture of you looking scared.
In pause mode. There we go. Turn him off. There we go. He hasn't called yet, so we'll see. Maybe I can call him here. There we go. Let's try this. Don't know if he's answered yet. Settings, audio and video. Okay. I don't have a video from you yet, Darren. Or audio. But the audio could be because I haven't set you up in here yet. That's okay, just give me a sec. There he is. Okay. Darren.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, I just don't have your video.
Well, the camera's on, and according to the Skype, I'm showing. Why is that?
Well, we can hear you lovely and clear.
Yep. We can hear you beautifully.
Why is it not picking up the webcam?
I don't know.
I could make a joke now, but I'm not going to.
But what we'll do is, instead of putting you there, we'll put you there. And you can just be a big Skype logo for now.
Right.
All right. Try and get your camera working, because it definitely isn't.
But you're just not seeing it. Why is that?
Don't know.
It says my camera's even lit up, and I can see myself on the Skype, but you can't see me.
You can change it in settings on Skype really easy, can't you?
Yeah, you can. I'm going to have to hit the button for the live show. Let me just double check to make sure I haven't.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, you fixed it. See? Look at that. All right, let's. And I'm getting a repeat back, so just be careful with that audio coming back through. All right, here we go. Bang. Hey everybody, welcome to another week and another Saturday, and hi to everyone who's joined the live stream. I'm Rans, and you guys have probably known me as Ransy on my YouTube and socials. Anyway, so a big warm welcome to you if you're new here. This is a channel all about music tech geekery, and what does that mean? Well, stick around and you'll find out what some of it means. Anyway, let's say g'day to our video callers. The first one I'm going to go with Inky. Hi Inky.
Hello, how are you?
Really good. And yourself?
Oh, well, really well. Bit of a hangover though, but fine.
Everyone seems to have a hangover today. We know who we're talking about.
Yeah. I live opposite a pub as well, so it's really hard not to go to the pub. So I don't go to the pub because I live opposite the pub, but I did last night.
Oh, there you go. It's good fun. I wouldn't say no to going to a pub. I'm going to say a quick hi to Darren. How you going, Darren? Oh, what's happened to Darren? Hang on a sec.
Wrong call.
No, I know what's happened to Darren. That's what's happened to Darren.
That's what's happened to Darren. Hello, I can hardly hear Inky.
Oh, Darren's got some issues. There we go. Now, I'm still getting my voice back via your Skype. So I don't know what's going on. Does that mean? What about that? No. No, I don't know what's going on there. It's weird. That's going to be annoying. Anyway, Darren, say hi.
Hi.
Poor Darren. We have to sort his problems out. All right, let's go to last. I'm going to have to mute Darren. I can't handle that. Just sorry, Darren. Wave if you want to say something, and I'll unmute myself. Okay. Sorry, buddy. We've got some massive issues with your side. I don't know what's going on. We'll see if we can sort it out later. Yeah, it's back. But at least he's not like a trance gate. So, anyway, let me just show comments. All right, let's go say goodbye to all the... Say g'day to all the chatties. So, let's see. We'll go right from the start. How are you, Finn? Nice to see you. Good to see you again. 888 Berg, same with you. Keon, nice to see you. We've also got Hanwei Wiesner, great to see you back. Nice to have you. We've also got Mr. Mac. I got it right, yay. Michael B, good to see you, buddy. We've also got scrolling. Wow, lots of people. This is awesome. It's really, really good to see all you guys. We've got Michael Elliott. We've got, I haven't missed anyone, I don't think. Yep, we got to the end. Wow, brilliant. Good to see all you guys in chat. Now, if you're actually watching and you aren't in chat, it's a good time to jump into chat because we're all about kind of like, saying hi and friendly bunch here, I would say anyway. So, yeah, it's good to see you. And look, this stream is going to be about anything that you guys want to bring up. So within reason, I can't really talk about stuff that I don't know about, but within reason, we'll bring it up. Okay. Now, let me just see why I can't hear myself properly. It's a bit weird. Okay. Just wanted to double check the mic levels for me. Am I a bit quiet or am I pretty good? Just general feedback.
Fine.
Fine.
I can hear.
I just made a slight change to the EQ because I've got crickets outside and they're right near my window and they're really, really high pitched. So I've just popped that little high level down a bit. So I might not be as dynamic as normal. Anyway, less dynamic. Okay, so there's our usual segments. I'm going to launch them off in a second. I will promise you that will happen. Normally I'd go straight into them, but this week I thought I'd just introduce you guys to a couple of changes that I've made with my setup. You can see over here. Just ignore the big mess down the back there. I've got an electronic project that's gaining boxes at the moment. I'm still waiting for stuff to come in, but yeah, it's like Mauser and Tader and DigiKey, all these electronic places sending me stuff, and I'm still waiting for things to come in from AliExpress and everywhere, and it's just a big mess down there. But anyway, that's my little soldering corner. But the news, I guess, here is that I have finally finished. It's never finished. Let's not say finished, but I finally set up my nice little, jamming rig here. And you can see the star of the show is always going to be the MPC Live as my brains. This is all doorless, if you want to call it that. And I've got the MX-1 as the mixer. Now, when I record, I don't use the MX-1. I use the Presonus, which is sitting in front of me here. And you guys, I don't need to show you, you guys seen it there before. Okay, so what I've got set up now, which I think is starting to get to a much better sort of usable situation for a YouTuber anyway, and that is now, this is actually me live. You can see me waving my hand. Okay, now I can control with the A10 mini controller that I've shown you guys before. I can now control via the actual controller itself by hitting the buttons here. Okay, I can show you, I can go to cameras by hitting the buttons, or I can actually control it from my PC using the software, and then I can also do some things like fade in between shots, which is kind of cool. You got half shots, nice stuff, isn't it? So I've got complete access control to all of this stuff. So I've only got 4 cameras that I can do through this particular setup. So I've got, you can actually see my live stream in the, hey, hello. That's how we should do the live streams from now. Don't show your face, just wave. Anyway, going back to me. That's the kind of cam setup. Now you can see I've got GoPro Heroes on either corner. I've got a Sony camera up the top there from the upshot, and I've got a Zoom Q4. It's getting a bit old now, the Zoom Q4, but I'm quite happy with it. Now, let's have a listen to what the audio sounds like. Now, this is the audio going straight out of the back of the MX-1, straight into the back of the A10 Mini. So there's no, you know, special treatments or anything like that. So let's just go to that. So you can see, I'm just going to hit play. So there you go. That's how the audio sounds on that setup. So I'm quite happy with it. Now I did put a video up. When was it, Inky? It was a couple of days ago now, wasn't it? With my first test.
Yeah, it's this week.
Yeah, first test jam. It was okay. A few camera angle issues I probably didn't quite like. There was a few things about the audio I didn't like. I think that was getting close. I've made some tweaks since then. I've changed positions of some of the cameras. I've got another jam that will come out. I've already done it and uploaded it, but I don't want it to interrupt the stream. It'll come out tomorrow, or it might be this afternoon or this evening for some of you guys, depending on where you are in the world. I've already recorded another stream after that. Another jam after that. So you can see already, from my point of view, it's great. But if you're thinking about this sort of stuff, this has really now made it much more creative for me. So I'm not having to worry about like cameras and getting the SD cards out of them and having to put them all into, you know, Final Cut or Adobe Premiere or whatever you guys use, DaVinci, whatever it is that you use, it's the same thing. And then you have to use the clap thing where you sync all your audio tracks. It's a nightmare. So I don't have that problem anymore. I just literally do it here. So I just thought I'd show you guys, and please let us know in the chat if you think that's a cool thing, if it's a thing way beyond what you would ever need. I guess the reason for it is because I'm a YouTuber, but not only that, it also gives me a video record as well as the audio record of my live jams. And if I'm developing ideas, I've always got a record of it. Now, some of the ideas I'm not going to put up on YouTube. I'll just keep them here. And the other thing I should mention too is, I forgot to say this, on the setup here, you guys can see that little box. It's called a Evolve, and you can see in the bottom right hand corner, it's hard to see because there's a cable in the way, but there's a little button, and it literally is a hardware video recorder for the HDMI input straight out of the back of the A10 Mini. It actually passes the HDMI signal through, so there's no delay in video feeds out of the A10. It's literally just a secondary box. And the cool thing about it is it saves video and audio, of course, straight onto a little micro SD or TF card, I think they call them. And you can have, I've got a 32 gig in there and it's been heaps. It saves it as an MP4, so it's pretty low. They're like pretty small files. I did like a 6-minute jam the other day and it was only 500 meg. So there's plenty of space on a 32 gig SD card. And I can also record straight into vMix, which I use for my streams as well. And I can do both. And at the same time, I can also record on individual cameras because they've all got SD cards in it as a backup if I need it. So there you go. There's a real quick, dirty rundown. But yeah, let us know if you are definitely interested in that, and we can go into that more later on during the stream. Now, I did quickly mention here, we've got Thaddeus Veloso, basic IO question for you regarding the MX-1. Okay, so I'm going to flag that and add that to the queue. We will definitely answer your question. Thaddeus, please ask. And we'll definitely get onto that later. All right, cool. Now, let's go back through the chatties and just see if there was any questions about it. Sorry, I'm trying to read and do the stream at the same time. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. Someone has to seriously... Michael Elliott saying is going to seriously consider the MX-1. Look, I will be honest. There's a few things I don't like about the MX-1, and Darren will be able to back me up here and or confirm or deny. I'll get on to Darren in a sec. But I think the drawback with the MX-1 is I think the preamps are a bit noisy, and they're also subject to ground loop issues. And I think it's just because of the way Roland make their hardware. So I'll let you guys know, even today, I was having an issue with the the Moog Sub 37 going into the MX-1 in just one of the analog inputs, and I was getting a massive ground loop feedback thing. Darren, you're muted at the moment, by the way, mate, just letting you know. Because I can hear myself coming back through. But yeah, so I don't like that sort of stuff going on mixers. Now, not all mixers do that. Yes, you can do things like DI boxes, you can do things like noise filters, noise suppressors, you can use, balanced cables, XLR, all that. I tried all of that sort of stuff. The actual solution was, convoluted. I won't go into it, but I actually managed to get around it. And just to sort of give you an idea of what the MX-1 sounds like with the Sub 37, let me just quickly show you guys. Okay, let's turn everything off except the Sub 37 and mute that. Here we go. You can hear the octatrack as well. So you can hear that is perfectly, that signal is perfectly fine now. So there's no issues with it. Really, you just have to kind of work with, every mixer has its quirks. So that's probably for me the downside of it. Anyway, let's get, Darren, do you want to have a quick word about your feelings of the MX-1?
Can you hear me? Yeah, mine's going out the window.
Really?
Well, something's going out the window anyway, because it's just driving me bonkers, this audio thing.
Oh, okay. Use your, what have you got, the Focusrite, haven't you?
Yep, I've just had that plugged in, and for some reason I can't hear you.
Right, okay. And I can hear myself back, and so can the people in the stream anyway. So anyway, I'm going to mute you again. So nothing personal. Just
no, it's all right.
Yeah. Just wave your hand if you want to say something. Cool. I'll just mute you anyway.
Poor
Darren. Yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was going to ask what made you go for it in the first, because I can't remember why I didn't get it. I looked at it, but I didn't choose it, and I can't remember why. And it seems like a great performance device. So can you tell me a little bit about it, what you like about it?
Sure. Yeah, so for me, I've had my MX-1 since probably, I would say 2015. I don't know if that's exactly right. Maybe 2016. It's a while anyway. In fact, I've had it for so long that I've had it repaired, and that's only because I was rough with it. I had to get the whole audio input board replaced on it, and it took Roland about 3 months to do that. So I was without it for ages. And you guys will know, if you go back through my channel, you'll know that I was missing the MX-1 for quite a while. But when it came back repaired, it was better than before. So they've replaced hardware in it. The repair only cost me $200. So we're not talking, and that's Australian. So that's like £100. It's not like a massive expense either. So, don't be too worried about that. Okay. So what I bought it for was that I have a lot of IRA products, like at the time I still got it all, the TR8, I had the TB03, no, TB3, the IRA, the green and black one, which is the baseline, the first one before they brought out that one over there. I had the VT3, I still got that. The System 1, which is like a little 4-voice synth, digital. And then later on, I started getting things like JDXI, and I've got a System 8 just behind me here. That's the System 8, you can hear me. So all of that works through the USB inputs on the MX-1, and you've got 4 Roland only, you know, and it sends MIDI and audio into the mixer. So it's like a way of tidying up your cables. At the same time, it's digital. It's a nice, clean, pure sound. You don't get things like ground loop noise and any sort of those issues with their stuff. It also has really good performance capabilities on there. So you can do things like side chaining. The FX on it's awesome. You've got a master FX, and you've got channel-based effects called beat effects. It's actually really, really cool. Now, if you want to know kind of the features, it's not really neat for me now to go through that. Go watch videos that I've done or whatever on that. But generally speaking, I wanted some sort of mixer that I could use as a scratch pad, and I found it to be quite well priced. It was, I think when I bought it, it was around 700 Australian, which is about 350, 400 pounds. Okay. I thought that was pretty cheap for a technically 18 channel mixer. And it's digital, and it gave me those channels separately as an audio interface as well. So for me, there was just so many things that it was offering for the money. I just thought it was a no-brainer, really. And I've had it for that long. I think the proof is in, you know, if you've kept something for so long, and so instead of selling it because you're frustrated with it, that to me is probably an accolade about how good it is. Yes, it's got its faults, definitely. It's got hissy channels. It's got some nastiness about it, which is why I don't use it for my premium production recordings. I just use it as a, you know, like a sketchpad mixer. But when I'm doing my premium recordings, all I do is I just reroute the audio from all these devices into my Presonus over here. And it's not like a massive job to do that. So, and I'll just record each track individually because it's a studio recording. So for me, I'm not really, you know, having to get myself put out to do that. Lay down the ideas on the MX-1. Also, the MX-1's a lot more portable too than a big, massive, huge mixing desk too. So you do have that sort of ability. All right. Inky, were you happy with that?
Yes, I'm happy with that.
Cool. All right, so I've got to go back and find the question that we had from Thaddeus. Okay, here we go. Thaddeus, where art thy Thaddeus question? Okay, sorry, it was back. I was watching your MX-1 3 ways to use your digital input, and you used a digital to analog converter. Can you just use a straight wire like this instead of a converter? No. Okay. So, the easiest answer would probably be to show you. And I think some of the people have actually answered that question anyway. Okay, so what I've got is and you can buy these through Amazon. It's just a little made in China digital to audio, as in analog audio converter. And this particular box that I've got is a set sample rate. So this one is at 48K. So it's not the best, it's not 96. The MX-1 can do 96. But if you do use 48K digital to analog converter, that means the whole MX-1 has to be at 48K. So you have to go back and reset your MX-1 to at the 48K sample rate, which is not bad. I mean, 48K is like vinyl quality, so it's pretty good and better, really. As to the actual cable, it's one of those coaxial cables, so you do have to get the normal digital coaxial cable from an audio shop or from a music store. I don't think you can use an RCA. Someone might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a proper coaxial digital audio cable that you have to use. You don't use SPDIF cables. It's not that sort of digital input. But just to give you an idea, I had an MPC 1000 a few years ago, and they've got a digital out on that, which is coaxial digital out, and I used that straight into the MX-1 and it was working beautifully. So it, I think people were talking about some of the other Roland gear from before having digital outs on there. I think the MC909 or the MC808 had digital out on it. So one of those groove boxes, and so you can do that, and it gives you an extra audio input if you don't have, with my little box, it gives you an extra analog audio input if you don't have that. So yeah, so Thaddeus is saying something like, in regards to the regular USB with non-Aero devices, does Roland RCC10 work as a converter? Is it Roland made a USB? No, they haven't. And I think there's some kind of like encryption going on with it, so you can't, unless someone hacks it and reverse engineers it, I don't think you can use any type of class compliant USB audio MIDI device in there. I haven't checked on that for a while, by the way, so you never know. There's people reverse engineering stuff all the time. Who knows? There might be something on GitHub, but I'm pretty sure it's still pretty rock solid. It's only Roland stuff, and there's a limit. Like I can't put I've got a Roland Gaia SH1 synthesizer. I can't use that in there, even though that's got a USB audio MIDI connection on the back. It's too old for the MX-1, so that gives you an idea with that. Hanway is asking, how do I record out from the MX-1? Okay, so in this particular setup that I was showing before, I'm literally only using the MX-1 as a main out, and I'm just recording the two channels, the left and the right, and it's basically straight into the video feed. I have a USB connection from the MX-1 into my Mac, which is sitting over here. If I want to, I can set it up in Ableton, and I can bring up the MX-1, and I can bring up every single channel and bring it all in through Ableton and record them in separate tracks. I can do that just literally by pressing a button in Ableton. So if I want to, I can do that. I don't usually though. I prefer to use the Presonus if I'm multi-tracking, because it's a better mixer. It's better quality. It's more professional level. I don't want to get sort of anyone noses out of joint, but Roland's claims that the MX-1 is DJ level, I don't think it's even DJ level. I think it's probably like amateur DJ level. Like it's like DJ level mixers are nowhere near as low end as that. They are massively much better. So if you walked up to a club with an MX-1, and the guy before you had Allen and Heath, or I don't know, like a Pioneer, you'd probably get laughed at. It's not that level. So Roland claim as a DJ mixer, it's definitely lower.
Roland tried to launch their own DJ stuff, didn't they, a couple of years ago? Was it 2 or 3 years ago at NAMM? They released their...
Inka, is your cable playing up again?
No.
You're really like 8-bitty again.
Am I?
Yeah. That's right. We can still hear you okay.
I haven't touched the cable. It's a new cable.
Yeah, I don't know what it might be. It might be the connection. All right. Now, Inky, we'll get back to your comment, because I don't know if it's the connection. Can we just pause on the MX-1 for a sec? Because I actually do. It's going to be so much about the MX-1 in this show. I actually do want to get into our normal segments. So, do you guys mind? I just want to quickly get through it. There's only a small funny side and a small news this week, so we can get that out of the way. Let's quickly go. Welcome to Funny Side. It's a pretty bad funny side. But anyway, I just thought this week we had some pretty good memes out there. The first one is this one. Jean-Michel Jarre. Jean-Michel Jarre. Jean-Michel Jarre. And it just keeps going. Ah, dearie me. That was pretty good. I know. I like that one. Moving right along, crickets. If Dazza was watching, and Dazza's in bed, he actually put this one up this week. I've seen this one before, I'm pretty sure. This one is the Blame Shifter guitar pedal. Dear, I like this. I like the diversion control. You've got self, drummer, keys, bassist, and vox. That's a good one. I definitely like that one. Inky will definitely get back to your comment in a second. We'll just see if we can sort this out first. And of course, we have to make a topic about the current world crisis that's going on right now. Yes, that's right. We have a coronavirus going around at the moment. I'm sure you guys have seen that one. So there's funny side for the week. Let's quickly. It was pretty bad this week. Let's see if we got Darren.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Coronavirus, I like that one.
There we go. Okay, so my audio is still coming back through. I cannot stand that. It's really, really hard to deal with that on streams. Inky, do you want to try your audio again?
Am I still crackly?
Yeah. What I might do is, while we've got the news, do you want to just do a disconnect and recall in and see if that fixes it?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Thanks, mate. All right, next one is the news. Let's roll the stinger. Welcome to the news. There's not a lot of news this week. We definitely do have news, though. The first one I think you guys will like. And if you've been, don't pay attention to a lot of this stuff. Who likes Fairlight synthesizers that came out in the 80s? The Fairlight CMI. A guy in Australia made them, actually. Made a lot of money from them, too. They were about the price of a house. But you can now get a copy of this software that's been released as a reverse-engineered Fairlight running on your PC or Mac or even Linux. And it's called Qasarbeach. Now let me just go to my notes. I just want to tell you a little bit about it. I've got a couple of pictures I can show you while I'm talking anyway. So it's actually a complete recreation of the Fairlight CMI 2X. And it has all the features of the original, including all 16 stereo voices, full recording, editing, and real-time control. It's got harmonic additive synthesis, which was part of the original. Plus it's got a full page sequencer, which is the original sequencer, and more. And it actually supports files for all of the Fairlight series 1, 2, and 2X and 3 samples. So if anyone's got an old Fairlight or have got discs from old Fairlights out there or copies of samples, it will support, this actual software will read them. Plus it also supports samples from other manufacturers. I believe you can just put normal WAV files and things in there as well. The price of this is a massive, wait for it, it's free. You can get it for free, yep, at the moment anyway. Now there's a link in the description of the video below. Now, one of the things I will say is that if you've never ever used a Fairlight before, this is going to be a massive learning curve. So remember, this technology is 80s based, probably even late 70s when they first started developing the idea. It really is quite convoluted. If you've never used a Fairlight before, this will be a lot of interesting times for you. If you've used a Fairlight before, you will be right at home because it's exactly the same screens, everything. And just so you guys know, I actually had this running on a Microsoft Surface. And as you guys know, the Microsoft Surface has a little pen. So it felt cool having the pen again, touching the screen like the original Fairlight. So anyway, there's the first bit of news, and let's just double check. Inky, you're back. How's the audio?
Am I sounding better?
Oh, that's beautiful. Hey, while we've got you sounding beautiful, let's have, and looking beautiful of course, let's have your comment that you were going to say before about the DJ stuff.
Well, they brought out like a DJ controller.
Yeah,
with,
the 808 it was called.
Yeah, with their sequencer on. But they also brought out this software. And they kind of took on like Serato and Pioneer. But you know, any professional DJ looking at them thinking, what are you doing? And I don't think you'll find that setup in any club because it just wasn't quite there.
It wasn't
They
there,
were
was
kind
it?
of, they were trying to compete with professionals at their job, and I didn't really see why they did it. I know it was going with that area kind of thing, but you'd have to be, you know, some people do like all the Roland stuff. I know you like it, so you've got it, but DJs weren't going to just convert to it, so I didn't really understand why they did it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a DJ, so that side of it, it kind of, it didn't really sort of, it didn't. I mean, I looked at it and I thought, is this a sampler? Please, Roland, bring out a sampler. And, you know, it took them years to bring out a sampler. They finally brought one out. They brought the MC-707 out. And, I mean, really, that TR-8S wasn't a proper sampler, so let's just forget about that. And I don't care what you guys think, it's not a proper sampler. The MC-707 is probably their first sampler that they've brought out since the SP404 or maybe the MC909. I don't know which one was newer. I'd have to look at the thing. But, yeah, I was hoping that DJ stuff they brought out had a sampler in it. I was hoping it was going to compete with the Torres, the SP16. But, yeah, it didn't. So it was kind of more just a controller, if anything, with digital, you know, TR8 sound in it, and yeah.
Yeah, but with their software, so you had to be locked into their software.
Yeah.
Which they're never going to sell that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep going with the news. So we've got only one more thing technically two things to show. So let's just quickly do that. So yes, Behringer got into the news again. How do they do it? So yes, they've announced that they're going to be doing the RD78, which is the CR78 clone. So this is what their digital sketch looks like, how it would probably going to be. I don't think it's final, but this was, if you follow them on Facebook, this was a post during the week that they put up. So someone actually submitted an idea, and Behringer kind of spruced it up, and apparently the guy that submitted the idea is going to get one of these for free. So that's pretty cool. So what do you guys think? Do you reckon a Roland CR78 redesigned with MIDI and all that sort of, you know, bit of extra features, and it would be a cool thing? Let us know in the chat. What I thought was, well, if you're going to be bringing out a drum machine, why don't you bring out one of the most iconic drum machines, the Korg Mini Pops. Do you guys remember the Korg Mini Pops? So I did this, and I sent it in to Roland. Isn't it beautiful? I'm not Roland, Behringer. I keep saying Roland because we've been talking about Roland all night. So I meant Behringer. I sent this into Behringer, and this is my Photoshop. You can see my little name, Ramsey, down the bottom. And so the Korg Mini Pops was, Jean-Michel Jarre used it in his Oxygen album. So that's how long ago that was around. I reckon it'd be cool to have one of those. You can, by the way, get what do you call it? Native Instrument Contact Mini Pops thing. It's pretty good, actually. If you don't know, you can get them. So you probably don't need to buy one of those. Anyway, that's the news, and let's just see if we've got a quick reaction. Darren, have you got a quick reaction from the news?
I like the CR78. I think that looks quite nice. But I think they're just going to keep on replicating everything they can, I think. So I'm sort of like lost of what next they'll bring out as to whether I like it or not, because it's just like, I don't know, I might be moving on to newer stuff, I think.
All right, beautiful. Okay, so that's the next segment. The next segment is, oh yes. I've got some cool stuff to show you guys this week, and I've almost forgotten about it. Yes, there is indeed some cool stuff to show you this week. That is right. Better get that in there for a start. Our scam deal of the week. It's not really a scam this week. It's actually oh God, I keep clicking the wrong button. It's really more like someone posted up, hey, quick, you guys want to get a Roland SH-101? There's one at Goodwill. It's just a US-based used gear type, place like Cash Converters we have in Australia and the UK. Goodwill, I think we used to have Goodwill, and I kind of went, I don't know where they went, but they kind of went. Anyway, I don't know if anyone knows about buying stuff from Goodwill, but usually if you're buying a synthesizer that's like 30 something years old, it's probably not going to be very good. It may not even work, but obviously you can go into the store and try it out. But at this stage, when I was looking at the auction, they'd already reached pretty much the minimum bid, so they were already there. The minimum bid, by the way, is pretty much what you wouldn't want to pay much more, depending on the quality, for a used SH-101 than that. That's US dollars, by the way. So on that note, every month, guess what I do? I do my little graph. And for those who don't follow my channel, you'll now know that every month I go and I do this on the Roland SH-101. The reason why I do it on the Roland SH-101, because we want to see whether these Behringer clones or whatever clones that are coming out are affecting the price of the original vintage synth. And you can see that January 20, we've got a full month now. January 20 actually went in and there was probably about 7 or 8 sales in Reverb and about 6 in eBay. So that's the average price there. And you can see it has dropped a little bit, but it's not really, if you look at it across the 6, 7 months or 8 months, whatever it's there, it hasn't really changed much, has it, guys? So I would say, just as a general rule, these clones are not, if you're a collector of synths, these clones are definitely not affecting really very much your price. Anyway, just a bit of info for you. What do you guys think of that? That's Mr. Mac, that is the actual selling price. So when I do the research, it's based on sales, on actual finalized sales, not ended auctions, actual completed sales. And on Reverb, they actually show you that on their site. So if you've got to log into Reverb, you can actually do a Roland SH-101 search, and you scroll down and there'll be all the stats down the bottom. It will show you the recent sales. Okay.
I was just wondering if that spike in September, was that about the same time that the Behringer one came out?
But the thing is, there was a spike in eBay, but a dip in Reverb. And most people would probably know that you're going to generally get a better price if you sell your gear. It takes a bit longer on Reverb, but you generally get a better price on Reverb. And you can actually see there's a pretty decent amount of evidence there. But yeah.
But Reverb really hasn't taken off in the UK, I don't think. I mean, it might just be me. I don't know, but we just use eBay.
Yeah.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Darren or someone in the chat room.
I actually think when I was looking at the January ones, there was some UK sales in there. I can't remember, because they do tell you where they're from. Let me have a quick look again, because I've got it here. If I scroll down, oh, actually no, it didn't say where it was from. The eBay one shows where it's from. That's where I got the UK. Sorry. So Reverb. Sorry, I was. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right, Inky. There's probably not many UK sales on that. But that spike definitely does show something, doesn't it? In September 19, that shows maybe there was a bit of panicking going on. But just remember too, there was a lot of people that didn't or were unable to purchase the Behringer MS1 or MS101 at that stage. Even still now, there's still waiting lists, I believe. I actually got mine in... When did I get mine, guys? Do you remember? About June? May? I can't remember now. I've had it for a while. So anyway, we're through all the segments. We didn't have any scam prices this week, sorry. Usually I do. The only one I had was that Goodwill one. It wasn't really a scam. It was just buyer beware, more like it. I actually don't know what it went for in the end, but if you're buying something from Goodwill, you generally want to probably make sure that it works anyway. So I bought a MC303 from Cash Converters, and it was beautiful. Works fine for $100 Australian, 50 quid. It's not bad. Okay, let's get to the MX-101 stuff. And I don't know if Lee's in the chat. Lee's the guy that has he jumped the chat yet? Can't remember. You guys, have you seen Lee? No? He might be watching this back later. Anyway, Lee's asked me a whole bunch of questions. Now let's just start with these questions, and we'll see where it takes us. The first one he's asked is about iPad integration. Have you done anything to do with integrating iPads into a studio production for both digital DAWs and analog MIDI, and different ways to sync up different gear, different apps to use? So the answer is yes, I have, and I've used quite a few different iPad apps, and the cool thing about iPad is that if you're using Ableton, and I know this Lee is definitely using Ableton, generally speaking, it's a good idea to go with the iPad apps that have got Ableton link in it, because then if you're using Ableton and you've got iPad and you're recording and you're doing stuff like in both, you can sync up the clock and it actually works beautifully. So you know, definitely there. Now, what apps to use? If you actually go to Ableton Live's website, they've actually got a list of all the app developers that have got Ableton based or Ableton compatible apps. Now, don't have to just get Ableton apps. There are lots of other apps you can get. But yeah, there's just too many to list. Like, I don't want to name an app and name a developer because I don't want to give them a free plug, and I don't want to make one sound like it's better than another. But I definitely could do a video, plug my iPad in, show the screen, and go through some of the apps that I use. And I will admit though, I don't use the iPad. Generally, I don't use it for music production. I use it probably more for just, I don't know, what's the word? Tweaking, mucking around. I know there's guys that use things like the Korg Gadget app, and they've actually produced whole albums out of it. There's a really cool guy that I'm friends with. His name's Todd Smith from the US, and he's done whole albums on the Korg Gadget, and you check his channel out. He's definitely done some really cool stuff on that. And the Korg Gadget, I don't know if it actually has an Ableton link in it. I haven't actually checked that part. But yeah, you know, there's an example of one that's pretty cool. One of the cool things about the Korg Gadget app is that you can actually sequence external gear with it now. They brought in an update to it. I think it was late last year, where if you've got one of those camera connection kits cables to your iPad, you can actually sequence external hardware through the MIDI on it, which is really cool, because it's then you're bringing in all the sort of Korg Gadget features of, you know, the sequences and the arpeggiators and all that sort of on your iPad. So I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, that answers that question. Now, in terms of recording sound out of the iPad, I did a video on this actually. If you go back through my channel, there's a video that I use the Arturia Audio Fuse connected up to the iPad, and I was, you know, testing out to see what the digital audio connection was like on that, and I was very impressed. So you can bring, external hardware into your iPad and record audio onto it from the Audio Fuse, and you don't have to use Audio Fuse. That's from Arturia. There's heaps. Anything that's class compliant will work. And I mean, for example, I've also got a Roland Rubix 24, which is another one that you can use. So, you know, there's plenty out there. The Focusrite Scarlets, the Presonus, they all work fine. So in terms of using it for analog recording, it's great. Now, the reason why I showed the Arturia Audio Fuse is because it's actually a box that has one USB connection to your iPad, but at the back of the box, you've got MIDI in and out. You've got analog out and in inputs. You've also got SPDIF connections, so you can put a like a Behringer 80A 8200 digital audio box on it, and it expands your digital to audio to analog inputs, which I showed in that video as well. So there's so much like you can build on it, and plus it's also got 2 or 4, I think it's 2 extra USB ports on it. So if you wanted to, you know, plug another USB device into your iPad, it's got a USB hub in the back as well. So it was pretty good as in terms of features, and I just thought that, you know, and it's also pretty compact. It was a pretty cool sort of device anyway. Now, I can't, what's that famous, I'm just having a mental blank. I haven't got my iPad in front of me. There was a famous multi-track recorder. Someone in the chat will be able to tell me what it was. Starts with an A, that everyone uses. So when someone brings it up in chat, but yeah, that's the one. Audum or something, I don't know. It's a iPad app, and I was using that particular app on there anyway. So that answers that question. So keeping an eye on the chatties too, because Inky, if you could keep an eye on that, it'd be great. Because there's a lot to go through here with these questions, and I thought we kind of tackle them one by one. So Lee's also saying he's not very good with MIDI and analog gear, and you know, as he uses Ableton and he's only just starting to get to use like hardware, he suffers from gas, which we all do. He'd like an explanation on how to get his head around MIDI over USB, routing audio, integrating with DAWs, and better understanding on basically how that all works. Well, I reckon the best way, I mean, that's pretty much music technology, you know, how to get better at music technology is pretty much what you're asking. The best way to do that is literally just watch YouTube channels for people that do, you know, tutorials and stuff like that. So if you want to know about routing MIDI in Ableton, you know, I've got videos on that on my channel, and there's plenty of others that do. Even the manufacturers have got pretty good tutorial videos. Now, for example, he talks about an MX-1, having an MX-1 and routing MIDI through that. I've actually got a specific video, which I think, Darren, I think you found me through that, didn't you? So, you know, there's like a... Sorry, I'm going to get a reverb back on him. There's like a video on my channel where I actually go through the MX-1 and I show how you can actually set up MIDI and use each USB input for the Aera devices, and you can use the MIDI out, the actual DIN plug on the back of it, and I actually go through and show you how to, so you definitely need to go check that out, because it's not something I want to redo, especially in a live stream. It's like it's already been done. So that would be a good place to start. MIDI over USB, it's pretty basic. You plug, everyone here will be able to, you know, attribute this. You basically plug the USB into your computer, whether it's a PC or a Mac. As long as if it's class compliant, you don't need any drivers. If it's Windows 10, usually you don't need any drivers. If it's Mac and it's not class compliant, you probably need to install a driver. Once you've got all that working, you can see that MIDI device in Ableton. So for example, right next to me here, there's a bass station, right? If I plug the bass station straight into my Mac, I'll be able to see that bass station running on my Mac. In fact, why don't we do that? We can definitely do that. This is just a real basic example of how easy it is to get MIDI going. Let me just, give me a sec. I just got to get my desktop catcher up. Okay. And I hope my Mac doesn't crash, because lately it's been crashing. I think I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, actually. I think it's about to die. Ooh, sorry, Mike. It's about to die on me, my Mac. All right, here we go. Let's go to the Mac screen, so you don't see me standing up and plugging MIDI in. I'm literally going to the back of my base station, and I'm plugging it straight in while we're live into the USB port of the Mac, and the Mac won't crash, hopefully. Okay, let's literally, how can we do it? So there's the base station plugged into the Mac, right? So we'll go back to the screen on the Mac, and we'll bring up Ableton Live. Let's do that. Yeah, would you like to recover your work? No. Don't worry about that. That's crap. There's proof that my Mac has been crashing. See, look. Anyway, what you do in a Mac, it's the same with PC. PC is control, comma, Mac is command, comma. You go to your preferences up, and then you click MIDI, and then you can see already Base Station 2. There it is. So this will, I can actually set a track up in Ableton to play the Base Station 2, right? Or I can actually set it to record the Base Station 2, because it's also a MIDI keyboard as well, right? You've got the Base Station 2, actually, you can actually use this as a controller as well as a synth. It's both. It's actually pretty good, actually. So now that's already, I mean, you've probably already recognized it in here, but now that's set up, what does track, sync, and remote mean? Okay, what track means is that you can record the track side of it, the MIDI notes. Sync means the clocks will sync. So the clock on Ableton with the clock on the actual synth. And remote means that you can start and stop if it's got inbuilt sequences or arpeggiators or anything that's got like a control clock sort of start stop. That's what that's for. And there's other things that it does as well. All right, so how you do it, basically it's really easy. You just literally go into a MIDI track and you say, right, I want to send everything out to the base station, right? So you set your MIDI, that will send everything out. And then you can literally just go in here, you can create a new MIDI clip, right? And then you could, you know, write a whole bunch of stuff in here. Okay, sorry, this is really bad. And this is probably gonna sound like shit, but I'm not gonna play the audio, but if I hit play on this, the Base Station 2 is now actually playing audio. I haven't got it plugged in to anything at the moment, sorry. But that's literally that easy. That's how quick and easy it is, okay? So that really is just me just trying to show what MIDI over USB is about. I don't know. Inky, do you reckon I've missed anything there? We're just trying to do it real quick and dirty.
Well, you're better at this than I am, because I don't really use MIDI over USB.
All right, we'll go to Darren. Same question, Darren.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, exactly how we do it, how I do it.
Cool. There's not a lot of rocket science in this stuff. Why is Inky there? There we go. There's not a lot of rocket science in that stuff. Anyway, so the question was MIDI over USB. Routing audio. Okay, routing audio, it is kind of, I've done videos on this again, but just really basically that preferences section in Ableton there. You've got your audio section here. So you click on that. And this is where you can say, right, I want audio coming from, and you can see in here I've got my Presonus mixer. I haven't got my MX-1 plugged in at the moment. Do I need to plug my MX-1 in? Yeah. Why don't I plug my MX-1 in? I'll just need to take it out of my PC. Oh God, this is going to be a nightmare. I have a feeling that my USB cable is going to be annoying. Okay, do we have room for this? Why is it when you plug USBs in, you always plug it in the wrong way the first time? And then you turn it around and you think, no, that was the way I had it before. All right, okay. So, I don't know if it's picked it up. Oh, it has, look at that. So, let's say I want my audio to come in from my MX-1, but I want my audio to go out a different interface. Darren, this actually might be interesting for you. I'm sure you know half of this stuff anyway, mate. But so once you've got your audio, you might only have one audio device. In my case, I've got I've got 2, but let's go into the input config. Now, on the MX-1, you have to know the device you're connecting in, right? So this has got 4 channels which can be mono channels, but they can also be paired up as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 as stereo. But generally speaking, you would have 1 and 2, 3 and 4 by itself, okay? And then all the rest are stereos. Okay, that's just specific to the MX-1. And then the Presonus is different again, okay? So, once you've done that, I can now go into an audio channel here. Let's delete that second video channel. Let's just have one audio channel. And I can pick audio coming in through channel 1, which I can't even remember what is channel 1. I think... Actually, let's do channel 4, which is the rocket. So that's the Waldorf rocket. Let's go to here. Set my MIDI channel to rocket. There you go. Now I have got, it's probably actually coming in through twice, but let me just go into my stream software. I can actually set this up so that you will hear both. So you can hear it both. One's coming through my camera connection, the other one's coming through the audio interface in my Mac. Isn't that cool? All right, so, and then you just do things like, you know, rename it to Rocket, right? And then you can click record, and now you've got yourself an audio coming in from the MX-1. And, you know, that's how easy it is. It's really not supposed to be difficult, okay? So that really answers, you know, routing audio. The best way to route equipment is basically do your research, find out what it is that you need for your needs, and route your audio. Okay, while I've been talking a lot and showing the screen, I've been missing out on the chatties. Let's go to chatties. Inky, have I missed out on heaps?
No, we're just all having a party around mine next summer.
Okay, cool. All right. So the next question that Lee asked was cabling up equipment. So there's many different connections. There's different ways to cable digital cables, like in the 707. You've got 3.5mm single jack stereo cables, RCA, phono line, phone jacks. There's also, I mean, he hasn't even mentioned this, but there's also, we've talked about it before, there's SPDIF and, you know, coaxial digital. There's your, you know, 1/8, 1/4 inch jacks. There's XLR. Yes, there's a stack of different types of cables. Plus there's audio over USB, and there's also audio over Dante. There's all sorts of ways you can get audio. There's also now even audio over HDMI and RJ45 network connections, NDI, all sorts of stuff. Okay, so the question he's got is the best way to route. He's got a Korg monotron delay effect. If he wants to use that and send the effect through MX-1 and return it to the MC707, what cables would he need? Okay, so in his case, he's got an MX-1, right? So what he would use on the back of the MX-1 is, let me see if I've got, I'm pretty sure I've got a picture of the back of an MX-1 here somewhere. This is going to help us. That'll save me having to like pull my MX-1 out. Is there a picture of the back of the MX-1 here, please? Can't find it. Okay, here we go. Cool. This is a pretty convoluted drawing, right? But let's see if I can zoom in on this thing somehow. Can you zoom in on these? Can you zoom in? No, I don't know if I can zoom in on this. Anyway, up the top, you can see the 4 RCAs, or there's 2 stereo RCA connections. One is a send and one is a return. So in his question, he's got, he's asking, how would I send basically the MC707 out to the Monotron and back. Oh no, maybe he doesn't want to send. He said send or return, but let's say he just wants to get the Monotron into the 707. So what you can do is you can use the send side of the MX-1, and then you can literally take the output out of the Monotron and put it straight into the MC707. So you literally have, because don't forget the MC707 has got multiple inputs and outputs as well. So you could definitely do that. The other way to do it is you could use the return side of it. Now the return side of the MX-1, just so you guys know, it's basically there's actually a routing audio routing document on the Roland website under the MX-1 page. The return part of the aux part of the circuit goes straight to main out. You can't actually get that return as its own digital channel, but you can get it as the main output channel. So you can get it digitally, but it's mixed with everything else. Just so you guys know. So what a lot of people tend to do is they use the send, but they might return it to one of the other analog channels, for example, so that it gets its own channel that you can mix, or you can send it and return it to some other device as an option. Now he's also saying what cables would he use? Well, you'd need an RCA connection to the back of the MX-1, and then depending on what type of connection you got on your MC707, you might need, I can't remember. Anyone in the chat know what the MC707 has in the back? Because I can't remember. So you might need RCA to whatever that is. So RCA to jack, or if it's 3.5 mil or 1/4 inch, that's what you'd need. Or you might need just to get an adapter. He's also got, just Inky, you'd like this one, he's got a Technics turntable. And he wants to know, oops, what am I doing there? Sorry. He wants to know how he would route that into this MX-1 or 707 using connecting the RCA cables. I reckon one of the things that he's going to have a little dilemma with, right? Inky, you can answer that in a sec, but with the MC707, if you plug the MC707 into the back of the MX-1 via the IRA USB connections, it'll work, right? You'll be able to hear, but you'll only hear the main output of the 707. But one of the big features of the 707 is if you use it straight into Ableton, you can actually, it multi-tracks like the MX-1 does. So I don't know if you'd want to lose that ability. What I would probably do is I would have the MC707 plugged into your Mac or PC as a USB connection, and then I would have the MX-1 doing the same. And then you can either aggregate them together, in that way. But you can also feed the audio out of your 707 into a channel in your like the main out of your 707 into your MX-1. So you've got the best of both worlds then. So that would probably be what I do. In terms of techniques, depending on whether you want to sample it or whether you want to just actually have it playing through, and I would suggest you'd want to sample it. So I would be putting the Technics turntable into the 707, because then that gives you the ability to sample it, right? What do you reckon, Inky?
But either way, he's got to he needs a preamp. It depends what Technics deck he's got.
Yeah, true.
Because some of them need preamps, right? So he needs to know what models he got, and then we could tell him.
Yeah,
we could find out.
He actually doesn't say, but I have got a picture of the back of the MC707 here. Let me just grab that up, because I reckon we should have a look at this, because I actually don't own an MC707, and I reckon he's pretty lucky that he's got one. It's pretty cool. Inky, you and I were gassing over this thing for a while. So let me just jump it into the stream. Sorry, it always takes me a couple of clicks, and I apologize if it doesn't make for good streaming. All right, so let's make it bigger. So there's the back of the MC707, and you can see you've got mic or 1/4 inch jack line in stereo. So just mono for the mic or stereo for a line. And then you've got send and returns, assignable outs, and mix out. So if he's jack, you're right, and he's probably going to have a pre. But is there a preamp on the MC707?
No. You could, but later Technics turntables were made to be line level.
Yeah, true.
I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly on the model. You'd have to look at the model and you'd have to do research. Otherwise, you're going to need a preamp. So if he's plugging his record deck into a mixer at this time, and he's plugging it into the phono bit of the mixer, then he's probably going to need a preamp.
Yeah.
If he's plugging it into the CD, then he won't need a preamp. Do you know what I mean?
If he's plugging it into his MX-1, that's got a preamp in it. So that's
no, you can't. I can't get my Technics and just plug it into a line level. It'll be so quiet you wouldn't be able to hear it.
Yeah, but the MX-1 mixer has preamps in it, so he could use that. Yeah. I reckon he. That to me, that's probably going to be one of his dilemmas. Because if he wants to integrate if it's like a live, I don't really know how good the 707 is about doing like on the fly live sampling and stuff. The way I understand it's more like it would be like session based. You would sample something, bring it in, and then you would manipulate the sample like you would with most samplers, right? It's not like an octatrack, where it does live manipulation. Anyway, so in that case, he could just use his MX-1, bring the the vinyl in that way, and then disconnect it from his MX-1, and then he's got his MC707 to play with, and I think that would probably be working better for me. Guys in chat, I wonder if they've got any opinions about that. Let's have a quick look. Does anyone in chat actually have an MC707? I know that we usually get Axel, but he's got an MC101. I don't think anyone in chat's got an MC707. A lot of us are gassing for one or something like it anyway. But yeah, anyone in chat got an MX-1 that uses a turntable? That would be another good. If you are listening or you're watching on the show and you've got an MX-1 with a turntable, jump in and let us know. The other option is to get a third. Go, Darren. Okay, good. Let's do Darren.
Yeah, I run my deck into the MX-1, but I run it via an old DJ mixer though. So the preamps on that go into the mixer into the MX-1.
Right. Okay, cool. And how are you finding the MX-1 handling?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm not saying it's like the best ever, but it's usable quality. I've recorded some vinyl off it and sampled stuff in it, so I think they've even sampled stuff and put it in my tracks at some points. So it's adequate.
Okay. Beautiful. So just so I don't hear myself asking this question to you, Darren. So Lee's particular situation where he's got the MC707. Now I showed you before that back connector, so you can see how you input stuff into it. Would you use the Technics turntable through the? Would you use it through the MX-1? Bring it into the 707 as a sampler. Do whatever you need to do with that sample. Like get it on there, save it in there, and then disconnect it. Would you do it that way?
Probably, because you can alter the gain on the MX-1, can't you? The incoming gain. I don't know about the MC707, so yeah, I'd probably do it that way. So I can alter the gain on the MX-1 coming from the deck.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, on the MX-1 there is quite a lot of a lot of features. I actually really think it's still pretty good. I don't know if I've got a shot of the MX-1 with my Blackmagic setup. Let's have a quick look. Can I control it from here? Do I have a shot? Oh, okay. That one? Or is it that one? So yeah, that one's pretty good. Let's try this one. So you can see on the left-hand side here, there's a whole bunch of controls. The top left-hand button is gain. So you select the channel. So you just hit the channel that you're on. You select it up the top. You hit the gain button, and you've got 0 or goes all the way up to, you can hear that, right? That's full gain, that's 30, and all the way down to minus 20. So it's pretty big what you can do with it. The only thing I will say is the preamp on the MX-1 is a bit noisy. You just heard just then that was full gain. If you put anything full gain on any mixer, you're going to get noise. That's just how they are. And it depends on how good the, unless you're talking $100,000 mixers. I'm not talking about $100,000 mixers here. Jeez. Like if I put the gain up on my Studio 192 on the input that I get from the Mac, for example, hear that? You get a hiss, right? So, but do you see the difference? With the MX-1, there's a gain at 30 plus 30 on it, and it gave me that growly sort of ground loopy noise sort of sound, whereas on the high-end quality Presonus, it's just a hiss. Okay? And that was plus 60 dB. Wow. So the Roland does plus 30 dB, and so the quality of preamps. This is what Inky was saying before with the DJ, like the proper DJ mixes. The quality of the preamps is so paramount, especially if you're putting turntables in. Last thing you want is like a noisy sounding Technics coming in and trying to sample that. It's just going to sound muddy and noisy, and it's not going to be nice. Yep. All right. Where are we at? So MX-1 questions. So we had. What happened to my queue? So we had the question from. I've lost my queue. Oh, I know why I've lost it. I've disconnected from it, haven't I? Social. Where's my socials? vMix social. Refresh. Hey, there we go. So that's the Thaddeus question. Okay. Beautiful. Any more questions about the MX-1, or you guys MX-1 to death? I think we've pretty much answered most of the stuff that Lee's asked. Lee, I don't know where he is. Going off my comment about the MX-1 being a casual mixer, there's a smidge noisy between the Zoom. Oh yeah, the Zoom L12 does get brought up a lot because it's a, it's one of those multi-track mixers. I remember someone saying something really bad about the Zoom, and I can't remember what it was. There was something really bad about it, and I just can't think of what it was off the top of my head. Someone who knows the Zoom products. I mean, I've got a H6 recorder over there on top that you can see. What happened to my ATEM software? It's disappeared on me. If I do that view, that's the H6 recorder on the bottom right hand corner of the screen, right? Now, the problem I have with that is if I don't use, if you just use batteries in it, it's fine. It works beautifully. But if I plug a USB power connection into that whilst I'm recording, you'll get so much ground loop noise on it. And I think that's what the problem with the Zoom mixer was, that there was some issue with ground loop noise, and it really didn't handle it very well. And don't quote me though, because I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was something like, That's almost like a game changer. If you're going to buy a mixer and you're getting ground, I mean, that's half the. To me, that's probably half the problem with the MX-1 is it's got that hissy. You know, it's got some failings on it. And you know, there's Dazza that comes into this channel. He at the moment he's got some major issues with his mixer setup, and he's pulling his hair out trying to work out what do I do, what sort of mixer shall I get. And he was telling me today that he wants to now start looking at the Presonus stuff because he's just not sure whether he actually wants a DJ mixer anymore. You know what I mean? Like there's all these sort of options that you've got. But the easiest way to answer that question about what sort of mixer you should get is to literally go down to a shop and try them out. You know, bring some of your gear to the shop. They'll let you do it because if you're spending $1,200 on a mixer, $1,500, it's a lot of money. So, you know, you definitely don't want to, blow your money on something and then realize that it's not what. Unless they've got a 30-day return policy or something like that. Yeah, definitely. Volcas are Hanway's saying Volcas get noisy. Volcas can be noisy. I did a video on years ago on making sure that you get clean Volca sounds, and a lot of it's to do with the power connection. If you record Volcas all with batteries, beautiful, no problem at all. But if you grab a Volca, I just happen to have a Volca here, and if you power the Volca by the the Korg power adapter, don't come with them, but you can get them. They suffer from, because there's cheap electronics in there. They're not high-end quality machines. Like one thing I would say about different synths that are out there, you notice whether they've put good gear inside the synths. Like that synth there is the Novation Peak. I have never heard anything come out of that other than the actual noise that it's supposed to be playing. That thing is like class A to the max. It is absolutely beautiful. The same with Waldorf. All the Waldorf gear I've got is absolutely beautiful. And the same with the Akai stuff. Absolutely. Never ever hear a noise that's not supposed to come out of it. So, whereas I've got other gear, and we've just named a few of them, but then again, it's probably what you pay for, isn't it? So yeah. Now Thaddeus, I'm guessing you're not Lee, just in case you're the same person. I'm not sure, because you did have similar questions to Lee. Inky, what are you saying?
I was going to just say that put me off the Roland. You know, like the looper, the Roland looper. Is it the 505?
Yeah.
It's because I saw someone who loved it and they gigged it with it, but they couldn't live with it because all the jacks were plastic at the back.
Oh yeah, that's why my MX-1 broke. That's exactly why my MX-1 broke. Yep.
Little things like that, you think, well, can't they just sort it out? Because they've got a good product, but that extra, I know it's a couple of quid, but it makes all the difference to the end user. How you feel about it? You know.
But like once
my circuit's got better connectors.
Let's hear what Darren says about his view on the MX-1. I mean, I know he's angry with it right now, but put the anger aside for a sec. Let's hear your view, Darren, just overall.
No, I'm not angry with the MX-1. I think it's I think it might have been with Scarlett audio interface. I think. I couldn't hear what Inky was saying. She was very, very quiet, so I'm not sure what the question was.
The question was, that she was looking at someone who had the looper, the RC505, I think it's called, and that it had plastic connections on the back of it, and it just seemed like they were really flimsy and easily you could break it type thing. And the MX-1 has plastic connections on the back, and like I said before, I had to get mine repaired for that exact reason. So just wanted to get your thoughts.
I think if you're gigging with it or anything like that, yeah, they could be quite flimsy. I mean, mine's just set up, tucked away, and it doesn't get knocked or anything, so I shouldn't have any trouble with it. But I think if you was using it a bit more, I wouldn't say it's very rugged.
Yeah, it's not rugged.
It's not rugged.
Yeah. I mean, mine's set up vertically. I've got one of those. You can actually see it. I've got one of those things that you can get from IKEA that you're supposed to put your recipe book in. You see that little wooden? See that little wooden thing there? And it just stands. It's one of those recipe book stands that you get from IKEA, and it's perfect for holding the MX-1 up. And actually, you can see its exact angle that the peak is on. It's brilliant. What is it, like £4 from IKEA for a little stand like that? Okay, so chatties, they're talking about the Soundcraft mixer. Darren.
Yep. Darren's,
no, you've
Darren's
just answered the question that is about to answer. Just saying they were talking about the Soundcraft MTX models, and I was saying we were discussing this a while back, weren't we? There was wondering what. I see. I've not actually used one, but you saying they're not particularly that great.
Sorry, I have to mute you for a sec, Darren. Because when I talk, it'll just go back. They're okay. They're not like they're not terrible. They're probably on par with some of the lower end Behringer sort of mixers. Definitely not like their X series or anything like that. It would probably be on par with the Presonus AR series, their analog series mixers, not the Studio Live digital mixers, the higher end ones. Definitely not Alan Heath, definitely not Midas. It's kind of that lower end. The problems with them you're gonna have are the quality of the pre's, and I think preamps almost make or break a mixer. And also every mixing desk the main out has a certain dynamic. Every mixer that you buy will sound different on the main out, no matter how. There's some sort of way the electronics work, whether they've got any treatments, any filters in them, just all subtleties of the components in it. My advice is take a couple of different sets of headphones, and if you're going to check mixers out, play them through a couple of different sets of headphones, play them through a couple of sets of monitors. Like, look at quality monitors, like natural sounding monitors or bassy, like look at all the different sounds, and then just see if you can pick up any nuances with that. And also peak the pre's all the way, like I just did before then with the Presonus. I peaked it to 60 decibels and I peaked the MX-1 to 30. Listen to what the max sounds like, listen to what the minimum sounds like. What is their unity like? What is that, that when you put the sliders up to unity, what does it sound like there? All of those things will come to literally a head when you're using it for real. Those things will kill you or you'll love it, depending on that. Inky, you were going to say something, or no? No? Okay. What about the DJ mixer, Inky? That side of things.
Yeah. Well, there's only really one or two companies that are in the market, really. So you've got Allen and Heath, maybe. You've got a Zone mixer, is it?
Yep, Zone.
And then Pioneer.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it until In Music make a standalone mixer.
And Behringer as well.
Oh, Behringer, yeah, they make them. But DJs are generally going to either pick a Rain mixer, which is In Music.
Yep.
Or they're going to pick a Pioneer.
Now, In Music's Akai, same company as Akai, isn't it?
Akai, Denon,
yeah. Yep.
Rain. Rain.
And they're
so
pretty
they've
good.
made a mixer. Yeah, I had a choice at the time between the Rain mixer and the Pioneer. And the only reason I didn't pick the Rain was because it didn't have two lots of inputs. So if you want your decks and your MPCs in, you'd have to unplug things and plug them back in. And they've at this NAMM, they released a 70, which is like, so on the Rain 72, it's got a touchscreen like the MPC with all XY effects and all that sort of stuff, the same that we've got on the MPCs. And they've released one without that, but with the extra RCA connection. But that's it. You know, to be a certain quality house, they just don't. Nobody looks at them. You know, DJs are very, very like they generally don't try anything new. If they've used Pioneer and Serato, they will always use Pioneer and Serato. So to get them to change is very hard because they
you got to change your whole setup too, don't you?
And also, it's not usually also. It's also what the club's using as well, isn't it? Because as a DJ, if you're like at a certain level, you're just going to the club, and you're expecting the equipment to be there. And you're expecting certain equipment to be there, not just some random mixer. So that's the problem with the DJ world, and that's why it's very isn't many choices of mixer at all, really.
Yeah. Now, while we were talking, Triple Eight Berg just came up with a comment. I can't stand gear that comes with micro USB. That stuff is just a joke. I think Arturia stuff. Yeah, he's right. And there's a video of me complaining about the key step and how I've got a white key step and a black key step. The white key step I own has got a really wobbly micro USB socket on it because they're just really, really badly designed connections. But this is actually the solution to micro USB. I showed this last week, I think. If you get yourself a little L-shaped micro USB adapter, now you can get these as cabled ones like this, which just go to a standard Type A USB connection. You can use a standard USB cable with that. That'll sit at the back of your gear, and because it's not, the cable's not keeping going like that, which is going to get knocked left to right, which puts left to right pressure on the socket. This will just sit only that far out. That is usually enough to give you that micro USB protection. And on my key step here, I've got a special orange one that I got out of the I think it was one of the Novation bits of gear. I don't know if I can show you. Can you guys see the orange? See how it's L-shaped? And it's very, very, only very slightly sticking out the back of that key step. Okay? Oops, sorry key step. And because of that, that's made that whole area there, and I can actually make that nice and tight. And I just think that that's probably going to be your answer. But I do agree that they shouldn't be using micro USB. They actually really, really suck. Like the Novation launch control has a standard type B or whatever they call it, that square based USB connector, and it's got an L-shaped cable. They actually ship it with an L-shaped cable. See, companies like Novation listen to their clients, their customers. They listen to the whinges that they hear, and they don't just ignore it. They go, right, when we're designing stuff, these are all the things that we did wrong last time. Let's not ever do that again. Let's ship L-shaped cables with our, they don't always do it, by the way, but that's an example.
Doesn't that make you more loyal to a company though? Don't you tend to?
Yeah.
I tend to, if there's two things out, I would buy off the company that does that, just because they do that.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael B saying that micro USB should be illegal. I mean, it would cripple me if they made it illegal, because I've got so many things that are micro USB, like that Evolve recorder that I bought only like a week ago. It's micro USB on the back. I don't use the micro USB part of it, but if I did, like if I wanted to connect up and do a firmware update, I'd be screwed. So yeah, please don't start some illegal thing. I'd be screwed. Dear. All right, so I think we have pretty much covered all of the MX-1 stuff. I definitely don't want to be going into much more detail about that. Darren, do you have anything that you want to add about the MX-1 from your experience?
It's good having the effects and the sort of playability with it. I'll give them that. I think, like you say, you've covered most of it. What about Mackie, by the way? You didn't mention Mackie as studio mixers.
Yeah, Mackie are good. Yeah, I think they're good. I I don't know really if they're the there's any major issues with them, but I think they're pretty good. The ones that I've ever come across have always been pretty good quality. What was the one you were talking about before? Soundcraft, wasn't it? Was it Soundcraft? Yeah. Thumbs up if it's Soundcraft. Sorry.
XT22 or
Say that again.
16.
Say that again.
MXT signature, isn't it, I think?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, and there's a few other brands out there as well that we haven't mentioned. Sorry, Darren, you were saying?
So I just got the name wrong. I think it's MTK MTK signature.
Yeah, it was MTK. Yep. But yeah, so I think there's almost kind of 4 mixer markets, isn't there? There's like your budget, low end stuff, high axle, and there's your your sort of probably general, studio producer type stuff, home studio to sort of low end studio producer, and most of the stuff that we talk about here is that, and then you've got your high end stuff, and then you've got DJs, which is kind of off on the side. So it really just depends on what it is that you're doing, I think. And I don't really want to rubbish too much about certain brands because even though Soundcraft do actually have some good mixers, just usually the lower end ones I find to stick away from. That's kind of my theory anyway. All right, cool. It's kind of a bit sad that we don't have Darren. We have him here, but this is what it sounds like. I've got Darren and then I've got me and Darren.
I'll say, I don't know what it is. It's pain. I can hardly hear Inky. I can just about hear her. I don't know if that's
At least we can hear you, Darren.
Sorry?
At least I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's like you're on a. It's like you need to put it into a. It's like you're a record deck and you've not got it into a preamp.
It's rare for me to be quiet, but thank your stars, because it's very rare I'm quiet.
So I can just hear that.
Say that again, Inky. Say that.
I said you should be lucky when I'm quiet.
I can hear you now.
Okay, I've worked out what the problem is. This is gonna,
clearly now.
Yeah.
And he stops. You've stopped echoing.
Yeah.
But I'm echoing.
I sound clear. I can hear you. Well, I couldn't hear you before.
It's
You
past
just like
the echo.
What about now? No, it's not doing it. Oh, jeez. I reckon it's got something to do. It's probably something to do with what I've set up here. Don't forget, I did do a software update. The issue,
that'll be it.
The issue with you doing your transgate problem, that's not me. The transgate is not me. But the echo could be me. So who knows?
I don't know. That's an echo.
Yeah, but it's not a transgate. Ah, dear. I definitely don't want audio coming back.
That.
Test.
One. That's a transgate.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea why it's not working.
That's the MX-1.
Probably something to do with Skype. Anyway, that update. I don't know whether I'm supposed to have you coming back through. What about now?
No, I'm getting
Oh,
there.
it's
No,
a loop.
Oh, right.
Brilliant. Oh, that's annoying. That is really annoying. Inky, are you getting me twice now?
Oh yeah.
Okay, not when I'm talking to Darren. What about now? Are you getting me twice?
No, that's good.
Yeah, it's just Darren's Skype call. For some reason, I'm getting it coming back through again, and I don't know whether it's he might have an audio setting at his end which feeds it back through, and because there is a delay on it, so it's likely. But yeah, I've re-enabled those second bus things, and that's why he couldn't hear you, because he was getting it through the second bus. But anyway, so it's kind of like the streaming software. It's like a mixing desk. You've got multiple buses now on this thing. It's huge. And the whole reason why you've got multiple buses is so that when you bring someone in, they're not supposed to hear themselves. So technically, Inky, when you talk, you shouldn't be able to hear yourself back. That should be the
But I
thing.
can at the moment.
You can?
Yeah, very quietly.
Now try it.
Hello? Yeah, it's still very quiet. I can hear it.
That might be something, I don't know. I have no idea what that is. Oh, it just gets technical, eh? Anyway, guys in the chat will probably be able to help us one day. Ah, dear. Alright, so Axel stuff, we were talking a lot about, we should tell him because, you know, missed out on it. We were talking a lot about the MX-1, and there's a guy that wrote in and said that he's got a MC707, and one of the things with the MC707, he wanted to be able to sample his turntable, and I believe that the MC stuff doesn't have preamps in it, so it's line level, right? So you can confirm that with your 101. I'm sure it'd be similar. So there's that. Yeah, echo the bunny man before. Absolutely. Darren's been vindicated. I don't know if he's been vindicated yet. So Norman's, hi Norman, welcome to the stream. Bit late, but never too late ever. So big hi to you.
Can you sample into the 101 directly?
I don't know. Axel will be able to tell us. USB, okay. Yeah, I don't think you can. On the 101, that is. Norman was out. Fair enough. Let's show the chatties. Oh, I missed saying hi to Tweak. What a cool username. That's awesome. I think I made a little saying today. I thought I was going to TM that. Beats before tweaks. You like that one, didn't you, Inky? Beats before tweaks.
or tweaking beats, yeah.
Yeah, or tweaking beats. I think we'll go on somewhere with that, definitely. So Axel's saying that's why getting the MPC-1... Hang on a sec. Let's bring that up. Add to queue. View queue. Get rid of Triple A Berg's comment because we've already seen it. Bang. That's why I'm getting the MPC-1 to sit on the MX-1 FX loop so I can sample loop that. Yes, and you can start doing the thing like Darren does where you freeze the delay on the MX-1. That sounds awesome when he does that. It's trademark Darren. Trademark. We can hear you, Darren.
Oh, right. I thought I was cut off. Oh, yeah. Freeze the delay. Yeah, it's cool in the buffer. And then you can stack them up as well.
Geeks before preaks. What does that mean? I know geeks. I know what geeks are. That's what I am. But geeks before... You have to just explain what a preaks is. Is that a pricks? He's thinking the same thing as me. I think it might be.
Don't know. I wasn't. So you just said that. Don't start. Don't pull me into your little brain world.
Oh my God, we were right.
Darren's just putting his hand up.
Yeah. Okay, I'm putting him on. Go.
Sweet.
Him on. Go.
All right. Don't forget we had pink last week, so let's keep it there.
Child friendly.
Yes, it was. If anyone missed it, I actually did take a little excerpt out of last week's stream and put it up as a separate video. Because I reckon 2 or 3 hours worth of stream, someone's not going to go and watch it all. So we thought we'd show that we can have a bit of fun on the stream.
Without my permission, he did that as well. I found out when it was up on YouTube.
Hey, it's on the stream. It's already on the stream. What can I say?
Yeah, but yours was words. It was,
All right, it was done well. Xils-labs is saying that his setup with the MPC-1 when he gets it will replace his RC505. Hey, that's actually a really good opportunity to ask him, Inky, about that thing that we mentioned before about the plastic connectors on the back of the RC505. So, yeah, are they flimsy?
Yeah, if he doesn't know, we were discussing that they can break off. I've seen some of them with broken inputs at the back.
And Michael B saying it's not the after show. Yeah, it's the after show. You can have fun. Ah dear. Axel saying that Inky, you've got to come up with a more obscure question for me, as in Rands, than mine last week. Yeah, that was a pretty obscure question, I have to admit. He's taking a look. Okay, cool. All right, so wow, 23. That's awesome. If you're not in chat, jump into chat, because now we're gonna. This is where we let our hair. See all my hair? I'm gonna let it down, and we're all gonna have a nice time. And yes, there might be a bit of frivolity. Darren, he's like the frivolity police, I think.
How'd you work that one out?
He doesn't want us to say poop jokes. MPC-1 is due in 10 days. Wow, that's only taken a week or a week and a half, 2 weeks and a half. That's not that long. That's pretty. I remember when he ordered it while we were on stream. That was pretty cool. Norman's got some news for us. Norman's got some news for us. Okay.
So I was going to say, I think we're bad because Finn's ordered a reducer while we've been on air as well.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah, we're influencing people. All right, Norman, tell us what you're planning to order. You're saying you're planning down below me. There it is. You can't hide from this now. The whole world has seen that you're planning on learning a good amount of synths this year. Okay, so what are they? Tell us what they are, and then why. We should get Norman to come onto the call so he can talk about it. I reckon that'd be cool. Prepare to open your wallet, Finn reckons, again and again and again. Yeah, especially if he gets Eurorack. Ah dear. Hey Darren, where's that case of yours?
It's just at the side of me, yeah.
Okay. When are you gonna let us know about what's happening over there?
I don't know. It's money situations at the moment.
Okay.
And there's a few things that I keep getting that are on like pre-order, and the date keeps moving. I mean, originally there was beginning of December last year, and they've moved, and they still keep moving. So there's at least three things. Depends on my money situation at the moment. But I have got a cool idea, which I can't say yet. If it comes to I can't even say it now. If it comes to fruition, some more. What I should say, I can name myself coming back. I've got my touche. and the twist. I'm going to add another sort of movement controller.
Yep.
Hello?
Ooh.
I can hear you.
All right. Did you get that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
So I could hear myself coming back, and I didn't know whether you could hear it or not.
Yeah, we could hear you. And I can still hear myself again. All right. So let me just mute you for a sec, Darren, because it's annoying me. All right. So Norman, here we go. Let's get it. Flag it. Bang. Doom. And go to the queue and get rid of that one. Remove it. And then click on this and go bang. It's basically synth tones from his PSR keyboard and native instruments. I may invest in some hardware. So far I've to stick to, okay, virtual instruments he's saying there. Cool. He's just invested on a Roland FP30. Yeah, they're nice, the digital pianos. They're beautiful, actually. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to get hardware. I don't think hardware is like the answer always. I just like it. You know, that's just me. We all have different tastes, you know. Some people like steak, some people like pork chops, some people like vegan. You know, we're all different. So there's no right or wrong. I don't know, for me, I never really got into, probably because of my age, I never really got into virtual instruments. I find the mouse clicky thing, I do that for a living, mouse clicky stuff. I work on computers for a living. So I don't really feel like I'm that creative when I'm doing it. It is. It's definitely creative. It's not like it's not. I feel like I'm more creative when I'm there in front of actual instruments. Like I've got acoustic instruments as well, like guitar, and you know, drums and things. And I find myself, you're kind of at one with a physical instrument, whereas I don't feel I'm at one with a computer. That's kind of my personal take on it. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. Because you can get really good controllers, like for example Omnisphere. Now, if you own like a DeepMind 12, like at the back there, or a System 8, which is just behind me, you can plug that into Omnisphere and use Omnisphere like as if you had this, like it just takes on the System 8 persona, but it actually plays all the Omnisphere sounds. And that to me is kind of where I think virtual instruments do go. And native instruments do a pretty good job of that, especially if you use their controllers. I know guys that completely go berserk over Machine, and I've talked about that before. I don't get it, so that's fine. But yeah, I think, you know, whatever floats your boat, and if it gets you recording and playing and jamming, then it's a big tick in my box, and I'm all for it. And we'd love to hear the outcome. So, you know, share it with us. If you've got a SoundCloud or a YouTube, you know, hit us up on social. It won't let us paste links on YouTube, I don't think. So don't try it here, but definitely on socials, or even on the comments of the video after it goes back up. You can post links. That's fine.
Darren's got up. Darren is great.
Yep. I'm just going to find him. 1 second.
Wait.
I was going to say, yeah, Omnisphere is epic. It's so deep, and like you say, with the hardware controller stuff, it is awesome. Can't recommend it more.
Have you got Omnisphere?
I certainly have, yes.
Wow. It's a big investment.
I got it when it first came out as Omnisphere 2. Obviously, they moved up to 2.6, I think 2.7. I'm not sure now, but they just keep constantly adding hardware. So even if you don't have that hardware, you've got the sounds, which is epic as well. So, you know, you can have all those classic sounds from like Studio Logic, Sledge, and stuff if you haven't even got the actual hardware. But if you have the hardware as well, it just works seamlessly, as though you're actually playing on that hardware synth, but coming from Omnisphere.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I mean, I don't have it, but I would like to get it.
It's definitely worth the investment. When you look at it for the cost, and then you look at other high-end, synths and stuff, it's so deep. It's so deep. You could just get that one VST alone, and the arpeggiator in it is amazing.
Yeah.
Now they've upgraded it, and also you can lock features so that you can move through patches, but still keep your locked features that you would want in. If you do you set up a really cool arpeggio and different filters, you can lock all them. So when you try to a different preset, it stays those arpeggiators and those filter settings.
Triple Eight's asking what controller you use for Omnisphere.
A variety, actually. I've just been mapping some of the twist to it. So that, Touche, obviously a keyboard. And if you, like I say, if you've got hardware, have I got hardware? I know the Blowfelt, not the Blowfelt, is I've got, the Korg Monologue works seamlessly with it as well, because that's hardware linked on it. So if you've got a hardware synth that it's actually got, you can just use that.
Inky, you were going to say something, weren't you?
I was just going to ask him what it was like on the CPU side. Because I really like Omnisphere. But get a new computer.
Well, I'm using a 2015 Mac Pro MacBook, and I can have quite a few instances of Omnisphere running, and I still don't have any problems. So I don't think it's a lot better than it used to be as well. We've tweaked it, so yeah.
That's reasonable.
Oh yeah. Like I say, I've not had it blipped out, and I've had 3 or 4 instances of Omnisphere running, and also you've got the 16, or is it more, channels within Omnisphere as well. So, and the effects bank, and it's just like I say, you can get lost in it. It's really deep. But on the other hand, on the front face of the GUI, it's quite simple as well.
There we go. I need to get myself a copy of Omnisphere, but every time it's not like $400 or $500 US. Every time I go to thinking about buying it, I don't think they ever discount it either. Every time I go to think about buying it, there's always a bit of hardware that gets in first. So that's the only reason why I've never actually got it. But probably, it'll probably be the first software thing that I would ever get, if I ever do, that is. I mean, because I can definitely use it with the DeepMind or the System 8 or, and there's a lot of stuff you can use it with. Now, while we had that conversation going, Norman was asking, is there any difference between hardware and software in terms of range of tones? Now, I think some of the people in chat were answering that, but I just wanted to get an answer from us. So I think Darren's a good person to ask for that one.
So I didn't catch it then. I was just reading the chat.
Okay, so is there any difference between hardware and software in terms of range of tones?
It depends on your ears, I suppose. Because my ears cut off, I think, at about 15 kilohertz. And I don't know I don't know. Yeah, in some instances, it depends on the software. If we're talking about synth, it depends on the synth, I suppose.
Definitely. I think
you can definitely.
Yeah, you go.
Definitely, like modular music. When you listen to modular music just made by Modular, I definitely hear a difference. Then I can definitely tell that it's not being made by a soft synth. But in a lot of the dance tracks I listen to, I wouldn't have a clue what that sound was made by. You know what I mean? After you put effects on it and it's in a mix, I'm not sure it's just sound why people have hardware, is it?
No, it's not just sound, definitely not. I don't think there is. I don't think it's actually to do with sound, really. It's to do with the marriage of performing. You know, it's to do with that. It's like the tools of a tradie. You know what I mean? Like he could go to a cheap tool place and buy the cheapest tool, and he probably just doesn't feel like he's doing a good job because he's got crap tools. Whereas he might invest in really, really good quality tools, and he knows that that's not going to fail him, and the ergonomics and the design behind it's kind of like that in a way. It's like a craftsman. That's kind of where I'm kind of going with the hardware side. But then again, like I'm not like a professional piano player or you know, #1 Grammy award-winning musician either. So you know, what do I know? I'm just a guy that hacks around in the studio. That's who I am. So it's just my opinion. Okay. See you later to Inverted. I think he's already gone, but I said goodbye to him in chat. Now it depends on the developer as well. Yeah, that's an interesting point. I think it does. I really do. I think that's actually a lot. There's a lot of people that write VSTs and they just are just punching noise out, and then there's some people that write VSTs and they're really putting super amount of effort into it. Like I just remember a couple of stories that come to mind. There was when I think one of the versions of Omnisphere, Darren, you'll be able to back me up on this. Earlier, they went to some cave in Africa or somewhere, and they recorded like hitting stalactites and stalagmites with hammers, and that was some of the sounds that they recorded into Omnisphere. Is that right? Was that kind of? Hang on, I lost my mouse. Darren, was that kind of what you heard?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I think I can't remember what was it in. Yeah, it was. You're correct. They went to a cave where they were allowed access, and they played the stalactites and recorded them all down into Omnisphere. Yeah, and there's doing a lot more since, a lot more weird stuff where they've had special permission to do bizarre things. A bit like Spitfire Audio, but they really concentrate on the sound and the quality. Yeah. Whereas, like you say, some synth manufacturers, it's just basically getting, you know, the sounds out, whether it be a clone of another synth or whatever. They sort of spend some extra time into it, don't they? A bit more thought going into it.
Yeah. And I know that Arturia do a pretty good job with their V collection. Some of their stuff is okay, but they did a couple that were really, really good. And one of them was that what was it called? I did a video thing on it. Where are we? How do I get it up on here? Arturia plugins. There we go. Sorry, I'm just having a mental blank tonight. Arturia starts with a P. Pigments. Thought they did a really good job of Pigments. What do you think of Pigments, Darren?
Yeah, that was one. I really like it. It's one that's on my list of possible VSTs to get. I like Pigments. I like the way it displays, like what the LFO's doing and all that. A bit like in Serum, but a bit more like that. It just tells you what's happening. You know, you don't. It's not like Massive X where you haven't got a damn clue what's going on. I'm not saying it doesn't sound good, because it does, but you know what the LFO is doing and how it's working, and it helps you create things as well like that.
Yeah, I've also got a V collection as well, and there's a stack of stuff that I have never even installed off of V collection. But there's like Synclavia, there's Wurlitzer, there's Arp Selena. I mean, this is what the Synclavia looks like. So they go to a fair bit of trouble with their stuff. So if you haven't got the Arturia V collection, that I think they definitely put, like you were talking about quality of developers. I think Michael mentioned that. Michael Elliott, that is. That's to me where you'll see a vast difference. Like I'm not going to show versions of what I think were crap type, but sometimes Arturia get it wrong as well. But like this is the Buchla one that they put together. Now that is intense. Like serious. I think someone else mentioned that. Triple A Berg mentioned the Buchla. There you go. It's in the chat. That is intense. Like, if you want to learn a Buchla before you go out and spend money on like any of the Buchla stuff, get this. It's like so good. It probably misses a little bit of that analog driftiness, unpredictability, but they build a bit of it into it. It's actually pretty close. I think you enjoy it. The only thing, Buchlas originally weren't built with keyboards. That's kind of I've never really understood. There was a point where Buchlas didn't have keyboards, and I know they've got this, you know, the touch keyboard. They've had it for years, but personally, I've always thought Buchlas were better before they had keyboards, because actually that's one thing that stood them apart from a typical synthesizer that was built on the standard note, you know, semitone type keyboard. It was kind of free from that world. It wasn't part of the piano land, if that makes sense. They did kind of end up, you know, doing it, but I think it was only because the world needed it. But I like Buchla when it was just free. It was completely radical when, you know, Don Buchla made that stuff. It was awesome. And also it's a completely different type of synthesis as well. So, you know, if you want to get yourself into sound design, Buchla's a great way to go. But then again, I'm going to grab something. But while I've got it, I'm going to ask Darren. Darren, do you have anything like this?
No, I've never gone down the Buchla way.
Yeah. And have you got any plans?
No.
Okay, say a bit more than no.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't got any plans to go down the Buchla route. I know you're obviously starting something out there. One thing that Inky will like, the only downside to VSTs is the fact that your CPU starts to struggle as the VSTs get better, whereas in hardware. Is that me or that?
What is that noise?
Is he climbing into something?
I don't know.
Yeah, or hardware always stays. Well, it's you know, it's there, isn't it? It's never going to have trouble with the CPU struggling away on your old machine, because you can't afford to get a new machine that updates the latest VST.
Fair enough. Now I'm trying.
That's where my computer is at, Darren.
It's not that old though. It's still doable. Like I say, I mean, I'm getting to that point now with my MacBook Pro. It's like I say, 2015. The OS systems are moving up like I don't know what, and you can just turn around and hit like the Juno 6 and it'll always work and sound brilliant. So what?
All right. Well, thanks for talking while I got my stuff up. But basically, this is what I was going to suggest. If you want to get yourself into kind of almost, you know, some people Buchla people are going to kill me for saying this, but kind of Buchla, and you want that sort of analog hardware world, get yourself one of these. They're really cheap, and it comes with all these cables. I've shown this before on the stream, but this will really, you know, test you in terms of sound design and understanding how audio signals work, and it's actually quite musical as well. It's got, you know, probably one of the best Volcas. I'd say that out of the Volcas, my favourites would definitely be the Volca FM and the Volca Modular, and probably the Volca Bass would probably be my three favourites. So yeah, I really like that. It's actually really cool.
One of them at Christmas.
Say again, Darren?
I was about to buy one of them at Christmas actually, because I was going to do like I was going to fit them all into a little box so I could take them out so everything was battery operated. So I'd have that and a few other bits that I've got, and then just take them out so you could have like a little live modular setup and sit out there in the wilderness playing, you know, with pedals and anything battery operated basically. In the music world,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So Michael, was it Michael saying that he was using it with Ableton? Sorry, not Ableton. What am I saying? Arturia Matrix Brute. Who was saying that? Someone in the chat was saying it. It scrolled past me now. Controlling it with... Yeah, Michael Elliott was saying, I'll use the Buchla like a desktop and control it with Matrix Brute. That sounds like a cool idea. How cool will that be? Like, you've got that massive grid of, the little matrix pads, 16 by 16 pads, massive grid of it, and you can control it. That'd be awesome. That'd be so much fun. I would have loved, actually, if Behringer, when they brought out the DeepMind 12, their matrix in that is actually pretty complex as well. I would have loved it if they actually made like a matrix controller like what Arturia did for the DeepMind 12. I reckon it would have been cool. I think one of the things that you guys want to, if you're getting into the world of sampling and you want to get into the world of trying to sound original and trying to come up with your own ideas, one of the things you can do is start with any of these kind of, it doesn't have to be hardware, it can be the synth VSTs like we were showing before. It can be these things, right? Start with these ideas, and then you can export these or freeze them into audios, and then you can bring those into your sampler. Once you bring them into your sampler, you can then mangle it, chop it up, and change it, reverse it. So there's so many things that you can do to sounds, and that's you'll start to become your own sort of, I enjoy doing that, so I'll do it that way. You might find that one of the things I like doing, for example, is I use a text-to-speech website where I'll just copy and paste like part of a user manual out of something, just so I've got some drony sort of text being read, like someone reading something, and I'll just put that in the background of some of my music just so it's got a bit of a vocal element. And I just use one of those text-to-speech websites, and they just send you an MP3 file for free. So, that's my technique.
Good.
Hey?
That's a great idea. I think I'll be nicking that.
Yeah, I can tell you the name of the website as well. So I'll tell you that later. But yeah, it's you can choose between the one I use. You can choose different types of voices. You've got a US voice, a UK voice. I think there's even different languages like French and Spanish and stuff like that as well. I might even try doing some Spanish or Italian on it. I think it'd be cool. Or even maybe some like Mandarin, just copy some Mandarin and just I wouldn't even know what they're saying. They could be telling us to nuke the whole world for all I know, but something about the coronavirus. I don't know, but yeah, anyway, they could, it'd be cool just mucking around. Yeah, I was just thinking, great way to jump into modular, but no MIDI. Yeah. So, so Hanway saying that the Volca doesn't have MIDI. Yeah, I wonder, has anyone taken one of these apart and seen if there's how they take Volcas apart and they find that they've got MIDI outs and MIDI ins on the circuit board? I wonder if someone's actually done that. You never know, there might actually be. But just remember though, this is CV, so this does have CV in. So technically, you could put that through, like Darren's got a new case that he's just bought from Create Audio, which is a nifty case, and that's got CV to MIDI conversions on it. So you could actually bring MIDI into your nifty case, convert it into CV, and bring it into there. Or you could use your MPC-1 axle and bring your MIDI in through that and out through the CV. So there you go. I can't actually do that because I don't have CV on my MPC, but I do have CV on this. Where are we? Segway. Where's my shot gone? Oh, it's gone over here. And I need to go there. I've got CV on that thing. So technically I could bring that into my Volca modular and literally make a track with the Octatrack. I could also do it with a couple of other things that I've got, like a Analog 4. Yeah, it's probably Keystep can do it. There's probably a few things I've got around here that can do it. BeatStep, Darren loves the beat step. I think he's he's had dreams about marrying his beat step, I think. Hey, Darren. Hey, Darren.
Oh, don't get with the beat step. It's still stuck up there doing nothing. Michael's just said VCV rack.
Thanks, Michael. VC is a great beginner's option. Absolutely. That's a brilliant idea. I use VCV rack as well. Really, really cool idea. And you can definitely get into modular without the expense using VCV rack. Hey, Darren.
Yeah, or you can just be daft like me and just get modular, and then wish you got a big bang.
That's funny. I would also say, there's all those options there. As a musician, it's almost like there's too much. Where do you start? Like, you've got VSTs, you've got hardware, you've got modular, you've got, digital, analog, subtractive, FM. Sorry, Darren?
Whatever you find works for you, go with that. Whether it's any of those that you said.
Yep. And I think people gel with instruments differently.
Yeah. I mean, some people can't get on with actual modular at all. I mean, sometimes you can sit there for hours and come out with absolutely nothing and think, what have I wasted my money on? And then next time you're coming out with, beautiful ambient drones and anything you do. So, each piece of equipment works for different people. But if some people click with it and some people don't.
I think we all do that, though. We all have good days and bad days, don't even on our favourite bit of kit. You can be messing around with the MPC for 6 months and loving it, and then one day you're just going, I can't make any music today. Why have this rubbish?
One of the things I actually really enjoyed, and it sounds probably nerdy, but when I pulled, actually I did this yesterday, I pulled all of this out, ripped everything out, got the Windex out and I cleaned it all and got rid of all the dust and then I put it all back and I put all the cables back, and it's just as messy as what was last time. But the whole point of doing that was just to see whether I'd make any changes to my setup, and that I think that also it cements what you do and how you do things. And for me, it ended up becoming so far I've got 3 jams out of that. And who knows when that's going to stop. And we talked about last week. Do you guys remember we were talking about how you guys were talking about how you got your gear permanently set up, and I take things in and out. So you guys will remember that the jam that I put up, I had in front of the peak, I had the Novation base station set up, and at the moment Novation base station's over here and it's not doing anything. I had. Now I've got the Octatrack up there. Before I had my modular up there. I've taken that away. Not saying I'm not using my modular, because I am. It's just not up there because I've got a plan for that, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to be a bit like Darren. I've got planned for my Eurorack, but I'm not going to reveal it. I'm going to show it later. And I just find that just changing things around, it's kind of almost like, when you've got a house and you're rearranging your furniture, you're moving your lounge to a different spot. It's a kind of a cool thing, Wow, there's a delay on the video today. Wow, that's interesting.
Big one.
Yeah.
On my side, isn't it? I'm Skype, though it's not as quick as it.
The PC's struggling. I think my PC's had it today. Going off topic here, me being 24 years old, I want to dive into the synth, guitar, organ, orchestra by the end of 2020. What would be your best advice? And orchestra. Well, I don't have any orchestra experience. What do you think, Inky?
I suggested Spitfire audio for traditional instruments.
Yeah. Let's just flag that.
They're really good.
Let's just flag it. So there it is there. No, that's not going to do it. There you go. down below me. Going off topic here, me began 24 years old. I want to dive into synth, guitar, organ, and orchestra by the end of 2020. What would your advice be? So be careful of being a jack of all trades and a master of none. That would probably be my first. Have you ever heard that saying, Inky? Jack of all trades, master of none?
Yeah, I've tried it. Tried it many a time and failed.
Sometimes I worry that I say like Australian things and no one's ever heard of them. So I'm glad that one's not an Australian only thing. But for Norman, jack of all trades, master of none means that you become overwhelmed with trying too much, and as a result of that, you actually don't end up mastering anything. You kind of just become a dabber. You just, you're dabbing at everything. You're not really sort of becoming good, and you are sort of coming across as a fairly well rehearsed keyboard player. So synth is going to be, and organ is probably going to be your strong suits. Music theory will help you with orchestra, and chord theory will help you guitar. I always find synth players tend to get into guitar fairly easily, but I think guitar players might find synths, I don't know, this is very generic though, but I always find that it's kind of not one way but the other, but not everyone. So there's people like Pete Townsend would break that rule, massively. Like, geez, he. Do you remember the video we played of Ozzy Osbourne trying the ARP 2600? That was like so funny. Now I have got to fix something here. That thing seems to be looping. I'm going to be turning that. We're going to go in a minute anyway, but that chat seems to be looping for some weird reason. I'm just going to turn it off. There you go. Sorry, it's just being weird. All right, see you later, Michael. Thanks for joining. We're also going to head off in a sec anyway, but I think those questions are pretty good. The chat's definitely working now, isn't it? Or is it just me?
Yeah, I can see it.
It's just not working there.
Is it because he's give you a super chat?
Yeah, it might just keep like popping at the top for me. I don't know. It's weird. It's not doing it on my YouTube thing though. It's just doing it on the streaming software, which has nothing to do with YouTube. Anyway, I think we answered that question from Norman. I reckon good luck with the orchestra stuff. I know there's a couple of groups that have orchestra backgrounds, and it might be a good idea. Like if you find like a really well-known mainstream rock group, pop group, anything like that, that's had an orchestra, like one of the key people in it has an orchestra background, that might be a good place to sort of look at to see what influence orchestra knowledge has taken into their music. And I'll give you an example. There's an Australian group from the 80s called Icehouse, and the guy Ivor Davies is he's a clarinet player, and he used to play in session in like a philharmonic orchestra, but he doesn't play. I don't think he plays clarinet in very many of the songs. He does in a couple, but his orchestral sort of knowledge definitely shone through in his musical ability. So yeah. That's just an example, but they still tour. They don't make really new albums anymore, but that's just an example. Someone else can suggest one. Groups with orchestral backgrounds. Yeah. Inky, do you remember one? Oh, Darren's got one. Hang on.
I was just said Kirsten when he was in the dark.
Fair enough. Yeah, I've just disabled the chat AAA because it's glitching out. Lots of things glitching out tonight. Nightwish. What's that? I don't know Nightwish. Yeah. Okay, don't know that one. Anyway, I think we'll probably leave it here. What do you think, guys? Thumbs up? I'll turn Darren's mic on while we're finishing up. Apologies for the audio.
Yes.
We'll have to sort that out before next week.
I haven't a clue what it is.
I'll do some investigating during the week, and
At least it's not glitching. And I've got the same problems as him now.
Yeah.
So when I talk to you, I can hear everything twice.
Yeah, I guarantee you that it's coming back through the Skype call. So, because right now I've got that muted. So Darren, we wouldn't be able to hear what Darren says. Darren, just talk and you'll see his lips move, but no noise. See that? So he's muted, right? But when I turn him on, we get our feedback. So it's very likely that it could be something technical, his and my end. We need to go back anyway. So but thank you all for persevering with some of the technical problems I've had tonight. Just remember too that a lot of this software is, it's a new update. It could be something my end. It could be something to do with Skype. Who knows? We just don't know. And streaming is a bit weird. We're musicians. We're not really video people. So, yeah. Tomorrow there's going to be a little stream from me. Hope you like it. Don't forget to check it out. Darren's got a video coming up tomorrow as well on his channel. Don't forget to check that out. Also, links in the description for that, what's it called? Fairlight software that I showed you about before. It's free. Download it. If you've got Mac, Windows, or Linux, it works on all three platforms. Anyway, no more comments. Oh, well, awesome. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you next week. And don't forget to tell me if you've got a topic that you want me to cover. See you later.
Bye, everyone.
Sorry, Darren, you can say goodbye. I muted you.
Bye.